Bleak Seasons is a 1996 novel by Glen and it is book one in the Glittering Stone series, about the seventh Black Company book overall, and so I would read those first. I have reviewed all of them previously. This one begins with fragments of a narrative. We know that 4 years of the annals of the Black Company have been lost, but why, we will find out at the end of the novel. Welcome to Deja Gore. What the Taglians call is a death trap. The teeny brown Shadowlanders of the Black Company grabbed it from, call it Stormguard, and people who actually live there have always called it Jaikur, even when it was a crime to call it so. And who knows what the young Bao call it, and who cares, eh? They aren't talking, and they aren't even part of the equation. One Eye and Goblin, Big Bucket, Otto, Hagop, Weezer, Geek, Freak, and, well, they're around. Well, we apparently have no more Croaker or Lady. There is Mogaba, who has taken a holy calling in the Black Company and is essentially the captain at the beginning of this. The Nar are descendants of the Black Company from long ago, and the quest for Katavar continues. Besieged in Deja Gore by Shadowspinner and the Shadow Masters. There's a lot of questions, essentially, we get at the beginning of this book, because we're not exactly sure how we got exactly where we are. We know some things from the previous books, but I'm not sure on everything. So, the young Bao don't talk to outsiders except through their speaker. But the word is that they are religious pilgrims who were on the homeward leg of a once-in-a-generation Hajj who got trapped by a circumstance of war. The Taglian soldiers say they hail from a vast river delta swamps west of Taglios, and they are a primitive, minuscule minority abhorred by the majority, Gunny or Vedna and Shadar religions. Mergen is supposedly our narrator this time, not as all as it seems, of course, though. And what does the past hold? What is happening in the present? Who is married? Who is alive? Who is dead? So Long Shadow is the last of the four Shadow Masters. Some unexplained things still, such as the people from Lady's old empire showing up around the south. Also Overlook, Shadowcatch, seems the farthest south, but through the mist should be Katavar over a plain of glittering stone. That's the goal. It was mostly Croakers, though, and he's not around. So, dark and mysterious, there's great sorcery at odds in an ancient world where it is, well, never really clear if there's any good guys, actually. I'd say Cook manages to spin a dark yarn that never really feels edgy, or at least overly edgy. There's a sense of humor and humanity, whether that's also in something like Mergen teasing a prisoner but stopping because it made him feel bad to do so. Kirker has not only changed much since the first books, he's different to read about from Mergen's point of view rather than his own. And again, this is mostly coming from Mergen's lack of a proper narrative, as in some sense this Deja Gore siege actually seems to have happened in the past, but at the same time we also seem to be happening in the present, so it's a mixed narrative in that sense. And so how do we deal with trauma, I think, is what this book is about. What's interesting is that this book is very different from the rest of the series. Some people are not going to like this one at all, but then it really doesn't set up expectations for the rest of the series, because again, the rest of the series does not read like this one. So now having finished all four of them since reading this one. So again, ideas though of how we deal with trauma makes you think about what we don't want to think about, right? And reliving the good times when we try to come to terms with something that's rather devastating. And then, I don't know how much that payoff works, actually, just based off some of the plot lines, but still. It is definitely one of the more unique siege stories that I've read, as that is a big focus of the novel. And a nice kickoff, I think, to the Glittering Stone series. But again, very different than how the series ends. So, anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum.